Detroit won. That's the other one.
All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. We have an 11-game slate to talk about tonight and tons of options. We're going to go through each game per usual. I'm joined by Nolan Kelly. Per usual, Nolan, how are you doing this Thursday afternoon?
Oh, not too bad. We're getting a little snow here in Vancouver, so everyone's freezing and staying indoors, just waiting for our beautiful weather to return.
Oh, yeah. Sounds miserable, although I can't feel too bad. A lot of snow here the last couple weeks. So
yeah,
I'm pretty much over that.
Fair enough.
See Vots in chat already.
Wow, right.
He's ready to go.
He's been hitting it all morning. He's got the day off or something.
Yeah, so tell your friends about us, guys, if you like this show. NBA All-Star break coming up. I'm sure a lot of NBA people are going to be twiddling their thumbs a little bit and trying to get their DFS fix. So tell them about us if you do enjoy the show, because we'd love to have more people in the NHL ecosystem. Hopefully better contests follow. And we still have this promo going on, by the way. I think they're announcing it tonight. So I said yesterday that it was going to be on the 13th, but I think it's going to be tonight because this is the last night of the before the All-Star break for NBA. So it's $700 value. All you have to do, $700 value for the all-access membership. We're giving one away for the 1-year anniversary at Osmo.com. So that could be you. You could get a full year for free. And the way you get entered into this is you like this video, and then once the video is final, you will comment in the comment box below. What should we comment today, Nolan? We did hat trick yesterday. Or no, 2 days ago we did hat trick. Yesterday, I can't remember what we did. Maybe favorite line to play in all of DFS. But what should we have the people comment for today's video? This is your last chance, by the way.
Highest scoring defenseman not named Brent Burns.
All right. Highest scoring defenseman not named Brent Burns tonight. So just comment that. You'll be entered in to win tonight. And then we're also giving an additional all-access premium membership for a year on our Twitter page. So go to Osmo_com on Twitter, and you will see the details on the pinned tweet for that. So those are both being announced tonight. One's on the Live Before Lock show, and then on Twitter afterwards. So you got 2 shots at it, assuming you take all the steps and everything's free, of course, and you could win. All right, so Nolan, we've got 11 games and some decent contests, depending on which site you like and depending on what play style you like. MME, there's not a ton on DK, but there is that $4 tournament on FanDuel. So what do you like? What are you playing? And anything
I'm gonna
you
play
just
this 20 max and just to take a few shots in the $40 on DK and call it a day. Have a little light one. I don't mind these 20 max tournaments, especially when they get up to $4. The prize payout's really weird though. It's like it's a really flat payout, so
sure.
Some good and bad, I guess. I prefer the higher end payouts a little bit, but whatever. Once in a while, it's good to mix it up.
Yeah. There's a big $400 that I'm trying my hand in tonight. So,
nice.
Trying to take down the 15K with all the big boys, the Osmos, Tom. I saw is in there, so steep competition. So if you are playing in any of those, good luck. If I don't win it, I hope someone wins it that watches the show. That'd be pretty cool. So hopefully we see some bigger contests here coming up on this All-Star break. I'm crossing my fingers. I see one.
We'll see. I'll bet they screwed up, but we'll see.
Yeah. There's one on Tuesday that the payout structure is bad, but like just the dollar amount in play. It's a 300K tournament. It's a spinorama. Yeah, so it's 100K to first, and then I think it drops to 30, and then like maybe 15 after that. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be other contests that are well-sized in addition to that, because this is a good chance for the sites to take advantage of some new players and hopefully get some people hooked on NHL. All right. You ready to go through these games, Nolan?
Let's do it.
All right, 11 of them. We're going to go through as quick as possible and also cover as much information as possible. We've got the Calgary Flames and the Florida Panthers, 3.3 implied total for the Flames, 3.2 for the Panthers. Mike Smith in net against James Reimer. You see these goalies grade out pretty poorly for Osmo. Is there anything you see here for line changes, Nolan?
Yeah, so Florida has some new lines. Vetrano is back on the top line with Huberdeau and Barkov, and then Dadonov is down on Florida too with Hoffman and Trocheck. That line rates out pretty well for Osmo. And then on the Flames side, Mangiapane is on the third line. Sam Bennett is up on Calgary 2, and Frolik is down on Calgary 4. So a little bit of a switch up there. I know Homer Clay said that like when Frolik is up on Calgary 2, they tend to use it as a shutdown line. So do they not do that with Sam Bennett, or who's the other person they use on there? James Neal, I guess, sometimes?
They've rotated Neal and Bennett. Maybe someone else outside of them. But on the road, I don't think you can really say what they're going to do. You can't really use your shutdown line on the road as much.
Plus, there's not really anything to target here, even if you could, right?
Right. I don't know. For this one, like on DraftKings, if we're talking about DraftKings, Calgary 1, really expensive. I think they're going to be pretty low owned. So just full disclosure, I only have 3 lineups on DraftKings for tonight because they're not offering any good MME tournaments. So when I'm talking about DK, like I've kind of zeroed in on 2 or 3 spots that I'm going heavy on with my lineups. On FanDuel, I'm definitely going to have Calgary. They're not one of the teams I'm on DraftKings.
No.
They're more of an MMA play for me.
Their numbers as a line like Calgary 1 haven't been that great recently. They've been scoring at a higher clip than they should, and Florida's penalty kill in terms of just both, they're not taking any penalties over the last 10 games, and their kill's been good. So you kind of have to downgrade them for that reason. So
sure.
If you want a contrarian play, if you don't think they're going to be owned, that's not a bad option, I guess. But generally, I don't think I'm going to have much Calgary. There's just too many other enticing options tonight.
Yeah, so I'm not getting there with limited lineups. If you got 150 on FanDuel, I would like to mix them in, although I know they're pretty expensive over there as well. Just kind of taking a chance. Seth, I think that might be the play if you are going to DK, playing the Trocheck line. But just to finish what I was saying, like the Barkov line hasn't been great. Numbers-wise, I'd still rather not go up against Barkov. Florida's top 6 is much stronger now with Trocheck back as well, if they decide to do that. So I just don't see anything here I love for limited lineups. But I do like Trocheck's price quite a bit, and you see that Osmo does as well. 8 points grade A value there for 5,300.
And that line is double A grade, isn't it?
I believe at least A value, I think.
Yeah, BA or AA.
So I'm a little worried about them going up and seeing the Backlund line, but as you've mentioned the last couple of times we've been on, the Backlund line hasn't been quite the same as what we've seen over the last couple of years. So maybe not someone you should avoid, but they're also, like I just ran a crunch for FanDuel, and they're coming up quite a bit as just a really, really good value, and they let you get so much else in your lineup that you'd like the top defenseman and maybe even a high-priced stack as well over there. So.
Well, sorry, I missed that. Florida 2 is you were saying?
Yeah. Yep. All right, anything else in this game you like?
Yeah, I think I'm just curious. Like, I guess Florida 2 just hasn't been doing much, but I'm just looking at some of their numbers right now, and like they don't have terrible. Like Trocheck's leading their forwards in scoring chances for over the past 10 games. So at 5-on-5. So I don't. I don't hate it. I think it's a pretty nice. I don't know what the ownership's going to be, but I think it'd probably be somewhere in the 5 to 10% range, just because there's so many high priced lines tonight. It's so hard to find something that goes with another decently priced line.
Yeah, it is. It is tough, especially on DraftKings, and that's what I've found. So I'm kind of getting away from a conventional build over there, like getting away from 4-3-1 and even 3-3 in a couple of my lineups.
We'll get to them later, but I think some intriguing power play 4-2 stacks if you want to go that way as well. I know that who's it, Dollar Bill I think it's Dollar Bill has had some success. I mean, I don't know if that's his go-to. I haven't looked into it, but he does that a lot, and he won the big tournament a couple days ago with a 4-man. What was the 4-man?
Boston.
4-man Boston, and then 3-man Rangers stack.
Yeah, so it was an unconventional 4-3-1. It was 4 forwards for Boston, then 2 forwards defensemen. It was Zuccarello was the Banishad, Shattenkirk, and then a one-off Provorov, I think it was. So, yeah, that was kind of a weird one, but I mean, it made sense. It was mostly correlated.
No ownership.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one's gonna have those combos, but they were all, I think, sound plays. I like Giordano here, but like you're seeing the D value in Osmo's grades on DK. Like if I'm going up to this range, especially with limited lineups, I'm just jamming one guy in that we'll get to later. So
and just again the power play I think is probably, I'm gonna stay away from that.
Sure.
Panthers penalty kill, so not bad, but I'd rather go elsewhere.
All right, ready to move it on?
Sure.
Islanders, Blue Jackets, 2.9 implied total for the Isles, 2.9 for the Blue Jackets. Tomas Greiss going up against Sergei Bobrovsky. It's Thomas Greiss, not Tomas. There's an H in there. Thomas. Anyways, what do we got here? Do you like anything in this game? Do we have any news and notes you want to talk about?
No news and notes. I don't have any. I don't know what to do. I kind of like Bobrovsky a little bit. I feel like he's heating up. And the Islanders have been a little bit cold offensively lately. That's my sort of one of my one-off goalie plays that I don't think will be very popular. I think this game's Islanders have the best goals against in the league, so it's probably going to be a low-scoring game. Columbus 2 was down in ice time last game, so I think if you're going anywhere, this game is probably Columbus 1. Columbus 2 is always like a solid play, but they're like Anderson's pricey. It's not a great matchup. So I'm gonna go elsewhere, I think, tonight. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm just getting sprinkles of the Columbus side on FanDuel. Nothing really here for me on DK that I like. Again, just a few lineups over there. So I'm really hunkering down on a couple spots. And this is not one of them. Like the Isles just haven't been a profitable team to stack against. You see this 5.5 total. Again, it's like, okay, 5.5 total, like people are just going to avoid this game because they're going to see 6-7 other games that have a 6.5 or a 6 total. And I think just more firepower. So you've got a really good line and actually a pretty good top 6 for the Blue Jackets, but I'm not getting to them on DK. And then, like I said, just a little bit like in the 5 to 8% range of both of these lines on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's about right. I think that at least would be like probably twice the field on some of them, right? I don't think they're going to get any ownership.
I don't think anybody's really going to play Columbus 1. I think people are on to the Islanders in that they're not really stacking against them all that much. And then defensemen, kind of the same thing. None of these guys are really carrying me to many of their forwards. So
no, it's Zach Werenski still on the power play 1, still really good value. I'll probably have some of him.
Okay.
But there's some other guys in the high 3s that are priced pretty decently as well. So
I see Pelech is ranked as an A value grade in Osmo's rankings. I'm not sure what he's seeing there. Like he doesn't really do all that much. He doesn't attempt a bunch of shots or anything, so he's not really a guy that I would like to get to. I think there's
20 minutes, I guess. Like anytime you get a $2,500 defenseman with 20 minutes, you're probably going to get a pretty close to an A grade, even if the value's not great, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
He's fair, man.
So maybe just met the minutes threshold for a guy that's under 3K or something. So I obviously don't know exactly what goes into his projections, but
there's usually only 1 or 2. But again, even though we're going to get to Stetcher later, I think you just pay the extra $300 for Stetcher just because of the opportunity, I think.
All right, ready to move it on?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah, great one here.
Do you like my Bobrovsky call or?
I do. He's someone that I'm flirting with on DK. Goalie's really ugly on DK.
Yeah, it's ugly all around. So like I don't mind, like if you're gonna go with chalk elsewhere, then like maybe you don't do the correlation goalie and try and find like a Pekka Rinne or a Bobrovsky or a Binnington or something like that.
Yep, I was having a lot of trouble getting to correlating goalies, even hand building, like trying to force in correlated goalies.
It's gross. It's really hard today.
Yeah, like Bobrovsky's won 4 straight too. He's kind of shaken off that rough stretch he had towards the middle of the season. Yep. So there you go, ride the hot hand. But I do think he's just a good play in a vacuum here. All right, Sens and the Red Wings. 2.8 implied total for the Sens, 3.3 for the Red Wings. Anders Nilsson, almost red hot, almost completed the 3rd game, just standing on his head. Could not quite do it. Gave up 4 in the third period against Carolina, going up against Jimmy Howard. How much do you like this game?
Well, I mean, Detroit one's pretty interesting, especially now that Abdelkader's off that line and Nyquist and Mantha are flanking Dylan Larkin. They did that last game. I don't know if I missed it or what, but or was it like a late change or something?
I looked and I saw like the projected lineup. I can't remember if it was one of the beats or something, but they had Abdelkader up there, so it was normal.
Yeah,
and then
okay.
I looked at the box score on Natural Stat Trick, and Mantha played the entire game. Like,
okay,
Abdelkader played.
That's what I thought. I didn't think we missed it, but it's just like one of those random things.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two. Unfortunately, Nyquist isn't on the power play, so it's just Larkin and Mantha. But I still like that line a lot against Ottawa. What's your thought on that?
Yep. I think anybody who's watched the show regularly will know that.
Yeah, I mean, ground.
It's just like, these are my two teams. Like, just play the worst teams, right? But they do have some good players, I think. Just two bad defensive teams. And I think they've had a low-scoring game already. That's a little bit worrisome. If they were going to be super chalky, which I think Detroit 1 might be one of the chalkier lines of the night. But if this was a shorter slate and they were going to be super chalky, maybe I try to pivot elsewhere. But I just love Larkin and Nyquist together. And then you add Mantha, who's not only good, but he's also on the power play 1. It just seems like a trio that should crush, and Ottawa sucks defensively. In general, they suck even worse on the road. They've been a little bit better lately, but they've been bailed out by some good goaltending, still giving up a ton of shots. The Larkin line's probably going to see the Duchesne line, maybe some of the Whitestone-Kachuk line. It doesn't really matter. Neither of those two lines are great defensively. So I think when Larkin's on the ice, it's going to be really high event here for both sides. So love Larkin, and then Ottawa 2 is where I'm leaning on the Ottawa side. Of course, Ottawa 2.
Yeah. I mean, Ottawa's been the only reason I think to pivot off this game is just because Ottawa has been better, and so if people are hand building in lower dollar contests, they're going to see that 31st against points for Detroit, and they're probably going to go to them. But over the past 10 games, they are 11th in the league in high danger chances allowed, and middle of the pack in scoring chances allowed on home and away at all strengths. So there's a perception that they're abysmal. They might still regress back to that, but the most of this damage that was done was earlier on in the year when they were even worse defensively. So the reason to pivot off Detroit, I think, would just be that the perception of them, of Ottawa, may be a little bit off right now based on their performance earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They definitely have been somewhat better in the high danger chance category and the scoring chances category, but still a lot of shot attempts. And
still a great spot for them. I don't know.
Yep.
Gonna get their minutes. That Mantha is a huge upgrade on Abdelkader, who's legitimately one of the worst players in the entire NHL. If you look at his numbers, his high danger chances for is an individual player, and chances for are bottom 10 in the league, and he's been playing with the top with Larkin for the better part of a month. It's crazy how bad he's been. So
and
that's
you look at the numbers with Larkin and Nyquist, and even with Abdelkader up there, and they're just insane, and he can't do anything. I mean, he's just not chipping it at all. So good to see him get off of that line. But now it's obviously gonna get a little bit more attention, I think, as a full stack with Mantha up there and the power play 1 tag.
Agreed.
Shabbat, he just kind of hasn't been the same player. He's still 5K or something on FanDuel, so that's where I'm getting to some of him.
That's good.
I'm not getting to him on DK, and then I think some people will probably be on Cronwall. I mean, you could take your 1.0 DK point. Maybe if he gets you an assist, you love it, but I just rather not. I think he's going to have some ownership, and I just don't really want any part of owned Nick Cronwall. And he's a guy I played around with, but I'd rather just save $400.
I think we've all had our dalliances with Nicholas Cronwall at that price on the power play 1 for sure. But if he's going to get owned, then there are just better plays.
And when I say owned, he might be 4 or 5%, which is way too much for that.
But that's a lot down there, right?
Yeah.
So
if he gets 2 assists tonight, then I'm gonna have to eat it. But
maybe he'll take a shot on the net for the first time.
There you go, a shot in the block. There you go. So Mike Green would be the guy I'd play, and you could still play him with Larkin and Nyquist and Mantha if you wanted to, just because Nyquist and him hook up on the second unit. So that is really all I have in that game. But this is one that I'm going to be watching. I do like it quite a bit. All right, Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Is that right? Okay, well, good. I hope Cronwall's 20%. Stars and Lightning, 2.6 implied total for the Stars, 3.4 for the Lightning. Anton Khudobin going up against Andrei Vasilevsky. How much Tampa here for you?
Not a lot. Yeah, Dallas has been really sound defensively lately, not giving it up a lot. I just feel like they're playing better as a team. And then the only reason I would get on Tampa here is I think that Andre Palat is a game time decision. So if you're in large GPPs and you can kind of wait until 4 o'clock and maybe you have like a Tampa line, because if he comes in, that's going to screw up all their lines. So that might be an advantage that you can get on the field if you can get Palat in at like 1% ownership with if he goes back to he was with Kucherov and Point before he went down, right? So if he goes back up on that line and you get those three together, that's an edge on the field that I like there. So I will try and save some lineups for that and put them in if he ends up going. I doubt he's going to go though. So and then the other thing is on Dallas. Again, we saw Dallas Ben reunited with us again in Radulov in the third period last game. So makes it a tricky correlation because really you're only getting 2/3 of a game if you're going to add Rupe Hintz to that line. So you're probably better off just taking Ben and taking the power play 1 as well.
Yeah, just classic Stars. They start with no Ben on the top line. He ends up there. Seguin, Ben, Radulov almost always end up back together at some point. If they're down in this game and they're an underdog, they're probably going to end up back together. So limited lineups on DK, that kind of takes them out of the picture for me on FanDuel. I said that the other day I was going to just probably put Ben in with Seguin and Radulov, and I just completely forgot to do it when I crunched after the show. This would probably be a spot where I would do that. Tampa does commit a lot of penalties, and I think that Ben probably ends up there sooner rather than later. And it's not even like Hintz killed you. Like, he got 3 DK points or something like that. Which is great. But you didn't need to have him. So
Dallas leading the league in high danger chances against in the past 10 games at all strengths.
Really?
77.
Okay. I mean, I like to look at the last 10 games, last 20 games, stuff like that.
Yeah. Tampa's in the bottom third. I think we talked a little bit about how they haven't been great lately, right?
Yeah. Maybe just a little overrated defensively. I haven't looked at their recent games, but
God, Dallas, number 1 in scoring chances against, too.
Over the last 10?
Over the last 10
That's
all
surprising.
strengths, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've obviously got the talent on Tampa. The talent I continue to fade. Point, Kucherov, and Yanni Gord. If that line sticks together, and like you mentioned, it may not. Palat might throw a wrench into things here.
Yeah.
If that line sticks together, I think that's probably your best line. I know people like to go and follow Stamkos, but I like to go Point and Kucherov when they're together. Like I mentioned the other day, just really big parts of that power play. Not that Stamkos isn't, but you get 2 out of the 3 biggest parts of the power play, in my opinion. And then Gord, only 4,400. Like, he's just going to pull up the value of that line, even with 2 7+K guys on DraftKings.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
any D here that you like? Klingberg?
Not especially. Not on DK. I will check if I'm getting to anything on FanDuel, but I don't think off the top of my head.
My favorite play of this game and for GPPs is probably Khudobin. He's going to be less than 1% owned, coming off a shutout. He's got 3 really high. He's beat Washington, Nashville, and Nashville again in the last 3, and he's put up huge totals. He's kind of like a high variance, like Nilsson style goalie, where perfect for GPPs. He could get you 10 to 12 points.
Yeah, and that could break the slate, especially with ownership spread out. So
Yeah,
I
and
don't think
like less than 1% owned, 7,100.
So I actually might be playing him in one of my lineups just as a like I use my goalie as the last guy in with my hand build. So like he's gonna see volume. I know that's not everything, and it's really scary with the awesome Tampa power play. But if off the top of my head, I don't think Dallas is amongst the league leaders in committing penalties and being shorthanded. So if they can stay out of the penalty box, they're a pretty decent 5-on-5 team. So hopefully a lot of low danger shots if you are playing Khudobin, but super scary. I would not be just loading up on Khudobin. He'd be like a last resort type of guy if you wanted to get away from.
Yeah, definitely don't load up. But I think if you're trying to fit some of this more expensive chalk in and you want to pivot goalie, for like just throw in, like let's say you're just doing a couple teams where you have very similar like Winnipeg, San Jose lineups or something, you might want to throw him in one or something.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Palat also before we move on.
Yeah.
You ready to move on?
Let's do it.
Cool. Montreal and Nashville, we've got a 2.5 implied total for Montreal, 3.1 for the Preds here. Carey Price expected to go against Pekka Rinne. Don't know why these goalies are not confirmed. I know Nashville's always funky with their goalies, but any other news and notes outside
I thought
of those
Rinne was confirmed. No?
Is he not? Or is he, I mean?
I think he is, yeah.
I mean, he's usually the assumed goalie, I think. So
yeah.
Anything else we need to know from a skater's perspective?
Just that I don't know if I missed this as well last game or if it was a late thing, but Kyle Turris is on the fourth line now. Did you know that heading into last game? Yeah, Rinne's completely. You're right, he's not confirmed. Yeah, so he's on the fourth line with Grimaldi and Yarncroc, I think, and then. So that was last game as well. And then Bonino's still on the second line, and then Brian Boyle's centering Hartman and Sijins, or maybe Sijins is centering Boyle and Hartman. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But those three are together. So, and then Boyle is still on the power play one. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really like anything other than Nashville one here. Stacked maybe with reasonably priced Rinne. What do you think?
Yeah, Nashville one. They're really expensive, and when I first saw the pricing last night, I was playing around with it, and I figured I would be able to get to some good stacks with them. There's not a ton of value in the low tier that I like. Like you've got Ottawa too. They're really expensive, and I think that's going to get a lot of people off of them, especially when you factor in. We just talked about Tampa. There's Winnipeg next game, so there's a few stacks I think are going to have higher ownership. So definitely not worried about ownership with them. But you look at their numbers, they're incredible. I fawn over them all the time. And then full power play one correlation. And then you look at the numbers for the line they're probably going to face, the Danault line. And, Nashville doesn't always hard match, but you're probably going to see 6, 7, 8 minutes at least against this Danault line. And like I mentioned in the Stacks article, like they've been good results-wise offensively, but defensively not really good at all. 13.5 high danger chances against per 60. So a line that's just been generating with the best of them in Nashville one. I think I really want to take some stabs on them and on both sides.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play, especially with the full power play correlation. What are they implied for?
3.1. So that was also good to see.
Yeah, I guess that's a huge chunk of it going to that top line though. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think I don't know if I feel like it's going to be tough for them to be the nuts line on the slate, but when you're dealing with sub, what do you think, like 3 to 5% ownership for GPPs, their odds of going off are not 20% of the odds that Chicago won or Winnipeg won are going to go off. So I think it's probably a pretty smart play.
Yeah. That's the thing too. It's a pivot, but I also just think it's a really awesome play if you can afford to forego maybe a Brent Burns or someone like that. So
the problem we haven't really talked about at all this slate is that they're just like what filler lines are there? Like what are you using to pair with these expensive lines? I don't have anyone in the lower tiers that I like.
It's really tough on DK. It's really tough. So I'm almost kind of thankful that there's not a ton of MME stuff because I feel like I wouldn't get a bunch of lines that I really like together.
I think you're almost like I've been like we'll get into it a little bit, but I've been forced to like get into some unique combos like putting the bank or like Roslovic on these like more expensive stacks just for the power play correlation to lower the price of the line maybe. But yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
I'm even getting grosser than that. Like there might be some Kempe in there. There might be some really ugly guys.
Hopefully up on Kings 1 maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but the one-offs, I mean, it's really ugly if you're trying to jam in 4 or 5 studs.
Yeah.
Anyone else think Winnipeg is bad chalk? Ooh, I don't know.
No.
All right, you got anything else on this game you want to talk about? Yossi or Weber or any Montreal stacks? Kind of skipped over them.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna have any Montreal tonight.
I am definitely not on Montreal.
Yossi?
Yeah, I do like Yossi, but again, there's just a guy that's better. So, and if you're going Nashville 1 plus Yossi, you're really, really handcuffing yourself. So, it just doesn't make sense from a...
Got to go to like Detroit 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's ugly. Non-Larkin Detroit is tough for me.
Vanek has an 11-game point streak, though.
Yeah. Turning back the clock.
Right?
All right, let's get to
Maybe
the bad
up.
chalk, according to someone in chat. I think Chris said it in chat. We've got the Avs and the Jets, 3.1 implied total for the Avs, 3.6 for the Jets. This one has been talked about quite a bit in our Slack this morning and this early afternoon. Semyon Varlamov expected to go against Connor Hellebuck. What do we have here for news and notes, Nolan?
Nothing. I think just like keep an eye on Colorado. They've been doing some weird stuff with their lines. Yost is back up. He's centering the second line now. So, and I think that was the way it was last game. Just pretty much standard stuff here. I think from both teams. Do you notice anything?
No, I just noticed Yost. He was one of the guys I was looking at for a punt, and he might sneak into one of my lineups here. Just because whatever. I don't want to talk about Tyson Yost. I just wanted to make sure I said. Because if he gets a hat trick, they'll be like, why did you not mention him? But
Colorado, most time shorthanded over the last 10 games in the NHL. That's why I think Winnipeg's not bad chalk.
Right, so that's the thing. I mean, what about Winnipeg 1 makes them a bad play or like a fish play?
Nothing.
Because I don't think their ownership's going to be 20+%. Like if it gets to 15 on an 11-game slate, that's okay. You can differentiate elsewhere.
Yeah.
So this line is really good. The numbers might not be spectacular, but like eye test, anytime you watch them, they look just dominant. Frankly, they're probably going to see a lot of time again. Go ahead.
Oh, just going to say biggest home road splits in the NHL as well. So
yeah, just really good at home when they can. Shift to shift, they might see some McKinnon, they might see some against Colorado depth. I don't know if it's going to be a super hard match here. They've had success against them the first couple games that these two teams have played, and Colorado just takes a lot of penalties and just a lot of dumb ones. And Winnipeg's power play in general is very good. Winnipeg's power play at home, I think, is still the best in the league. They're just a different team when they're at home. And
they have Bufflin back.
Yeah, that too. So Bufflin, obviously an awesome play by himself, but if you can somehow force him in with Winnipeg 1, be my guest. I think that's a really awesome play. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Winnipeg 1 chalk. I prefer them over Chicago 1.
Last time these two teams met, the Jets just went ham too. So, and that was no Bufflin. 7 goals against the Avs. I think is that the one? No, that's not the one. Wheeler and Scheifele just went off.
Yeah. Wait, say that again. Wheeler and Scheifele.
Yeah, both went off the last time these two teams met. January 8th, it was 7-4 for Winnipeg.
Oh, okay. Connor got left off?
Connor had 1 goal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember playing a bunch of Winnipeg that game, and people were tilting Connor. I don't know, maybe he got a goal late or something.
You taking any of the other side of this?
On FanDuel, I think just for what they are, what my projections have them as, they come in underpriced quite a bit. And Winnipeg's not a terrible matchup. I'd like it better, obviously, for Colorado if they were at home, but I think they're okay priced on DK for what they are and for their expected ownership. But I'm getting to a lot more to them on FanDuel. I'm not getting to them in my 3 lineups on DK. So
yeah,
that's all right. I don't know that I'm going to miss it on DK just because like I said, I like other lines that are in their price range, and then I don't know that they're going to go nuclear here, so we'll see.
I'm surprised to see like they don't really have a great value from Osmo. What is it?
No.
AC? I guess it's all right.
It's just way easier to fit them in with other stuff that I like on FanDuel, so that's why I'm getting more of them. Colorado 3, Bots says. What are we missing on Colorado 3? I think they have good numbers, but
yeah, it's the usual. Like, is that the Soderberg, Nito, Calvert line? Yeah, they always are like. I prefer to like. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get to them on this slate, but I definitely like that line in a vacuum. Like they're always on their own, and Soderberg has great underlying numbers, and so don't hate it as a filler stack.
For me, that's like a line I go to on a 3 or 4 game slate.
Yeah,
when they're at home, and it's like, like
Soderberg's also priced up too because he's had a couple big games. So
yeah,
he's about 1,000 more than we were getting him for.
Yeah, I'd rather eat Tide Pods than play those guys. All right, Bobby Boone, not mincing words per usual.
Maybe Colorado 2 though.
I would be more likely to go to that. I don't know. I mean,
got Comfer on the power play 1. They got 15 minutes last game. There's some offensive upside there. So I think if you want to get contrarian with the Winnipeg 1, you could go with the full game stack and take Colorado 2.
I mean, they're dirt cheap, and like I said, I might be playing some Yost. I think Comfer's okay. Power play 1 there, so you could probably do better. I mean, you could probably do worse than Colorado 2 when we're talking about how bad these filler stack options are on DK. Actually, there are a couple punt options I think you can go to on Colorado's defense here. Well, first of all, Tyson Barrie.
At the risk of opening yourself up to some Nemeth jokes.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Tyson Barrie, I think, obviously goes with Colorado 1. That's pretty obvious. Gerard has been shooting a lot more. I'm going to continue to play him when he's at 3,100. Maybe he's just becoming more aggressive. Maybe a coach said something to him. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. That's a great point. He actually got some power play time. I think it was partly because the Colorado 1 was just at the end of the shift when they drew penalties last game, but they got Gerard got some power play time and some time with the first unit, I think. So
yeah. So he's another guy I like. And then like if you're punting, just like pure punting, Zadorov or Nemeth, I think are okay.
Homer plays nails the Zadorov pick or like last week too. I think he got a goal.
Yeah, I mean you can't expect a goal, but like if you're looking for a few block shots or something, like I think Winnipeg's gonna be able to pepper Colorado here, especially that top line. So guys that are willing to take some blocks here, like just pure punt last guy in. I've definitely thought about it today with both of those guys. What else here? Any line A? I mean, is he just dead at this point?
I would love him if he was on the power play 1 as like to kind of get unique on that Winnipeg, but I don't know. I think I'm just like I've got line A FOMO. I know it's coming. Like he's gonna break out and score 3 goals. If he gets 1, he's gonna get 3. I think, but maybe just wait.
Sure, maybe he'll have another 5-goal
narrative. I know, but like, come on, the guy scored what 50 goals last year. Like, come on, he's gonna get it together eventually. You don't forget how to score.
Cronwall greater than Nemeth. Oh, I'd probably take a bet on that. Nemeth getting no PP time. He might get 7 blocks. And he's gonna crush Cronwall. Bufflin is too cheap on FanDuel, Ricky. I agree with you. So he's gonna probably be my highest exposed guy on FanDuel.
Who is Bufflin?
Mm-hmm.
You got any thoughts on Eric Johnson, who grades out really well on DK there for Osmo?
I don't. I mean, if he was 3,800, I think I would understand it more. I
think it's just like, is it just because he was getting a ton of ice time earlier, or like he had a couple games there, he was like 25, 28 minutes?
That's what I would think. That's where I was going. So, yep. But 4,500 doesn't really do anything for me for Johnson.
No, I'd rather have Werenski.
Yep.
Just as an upside play.
All right. Next game, let's do Devils and the Blackhawks. More chalk here. We've got a 3 implied total for the Devils, 3.6 for the Hawks. Corey Schneider going up against Cam Ward. What do we have here? Any line changes going?
Herlini's out. Coleman is out. Lines are the same, though. Those guys were both missed the last game as well, and everything else, I think, is the same. I'll just double-check and make sure nothing's changed on that. But Intriguing one here. Chicago's going to be heavily owned. New Jersey, I tweeted in chat, is the number. Spent the most time shorthanded in the last 10 games, and we've all either made money or been burned off that Chicago power play over the last few weeks. So, something to consider here. I mean, I don't know what Chicago's ownership is going to get to. That'll be interesting to see. Chicago 1, Chicago 2 has been lighting it up lately. I've been kind of hoping for regression because I think it's coming, but pivot play here, New Jersey 1, and they got full correlation. Power play 1. You compare them with Schneider, who will also be less than 1% owned. Probably a pretty good value. I haven't checked yet, and Chicago's still hemorrhaging chances. So I kind of like that as like a 2% owned option.
Sure.
To pair with some other stack.
Yep. So you mentioned people have been burned. I've been burned by Chicago lately because I've kind of been in the same boat. I mean, there's regression coming for the Hawks, obviously. If we could predict when it was going to come, in which game, like we would be
millionaires.
Yeah, we would be millionaires, right? So it's just going to come down the line. That doesn't mean they're going to have 8 bad games in a row when they're being chalk. Like, it is a good spot. New Jersey does commit a lot of penalties, especially lately. They still don't have their best player. They don't have a really good anything. They've been bad on the road all year, even when you count the time when they had Taylor Hall. Schneider's been a disaster.
The only cause for optimism is that at least he played well against the Islanders.
Sure. There
Maybe?
you go.
I don't
know. And, I'm a guy that considered Corey Schneider tonight. Like, I'm still considering playing him as a one-off.
Oh yeah, I've got him in
one
of my $40 lineups.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling good about it.
Oh, it's disgusting. But like, Chicago's not a good team. They've had a good stretch. They've been crushing it on the power play. It's a really good power play spot for them. I don't know that it's that great of an even strength spot for them. And Kane and Taze are pretty expensive. Kane probably okay. Taze is a little bit expensive. And then Kajula is he's okay, I suppose, for 3,600. So I'm not getting to them on DK at all. And then on FanDuel, I wasn't really, but I'm probably going to force some in. I don't want to just full fade them. I don't think that's smart with the 150 lineups on any site tonight.
Yeah.
So
it's true. Like, I think it's a scary fade, but if you can bring yourself to do it, then I like it. Or one option you could have that I kind of like is to just sort of fade the forwards and go with Gustafsson and hope that maybe you get a share of that offense if that power play does go off. He's getting like 25 minutes a game. He's reasonably priced, and Chicago has a chance to score on the power play as well. So I kind of like Gustafsson tonight.
Yeah, I think Gustafsson, I mean, he's a fine call, 5,300. I'm just not really getting to that range on DK.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head what his FanDuel price is, but he's probably a better play over there because they're so late to react to stuff. People do like Chicago too as well. For me, they're an okay value. Again, it's just kind of whatever for the Hawks, and I've been burned, so I get it. Like, if you're using more recent data, the projections will probably like the Hawks even better. Or if you factor in heavily these Vegas implied totals, I completely understand it. I'm just more on like Winnipeg. I like Nashville a lot, and I'd rather just take the ownership discount on some of these other lines that I think are really awesome instead of paying up for Kane and Taze on DK.
Yeah. This is like one of those, like, it's a long game kind of play, like in a small, on a 1-game slate tonight, maybe Chicago's good, but over the course of, if you make that move 20 times over the course of the next year or whatever, you may come out ahead, right? Like, you may lose one, but
sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then
stick with the numbers.
Josh says, nope, he's 5,300. Yeah, that's a better price on FanDuel. You get $5K extra on FanDuel, so it's a better price. I do like Boom's guy, actually, who I kind of just said, no, don't play this guy, but he's in the top 6. He's playing power play 2, and he's mid-salary. Joey Anderson, 2,500. I don't think the Hawks are any good at even strength, so that's a guy that I'm considering for min-salary. The punts are getting ugly, but I think he's probably one of the better ones. Anything else here?
Devils 5-1-3 in their last 9 against Blackhawks.
There you have it. Stack up the Devils.
I just got loaded into a quiz here. So there you go. Devil stack.
All right. Ready to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Blues, Coyotes, 3 implied total for the Blues, 2.5 for Arizona. Jordan Binnington going up against Darcy Kemper. And what do we like here, if anything, Nolan?
Not much. Yeah, not much. It's going to be maybe this is the time to get off St. Louis a little bit just because of Arizona's defense. So the penalty kill hasn't been as good lately. They're actually in the bottom third of the league over the last 10. So they might be regressing a little bit. Might just have been that Chychrun was out. I think he's one of their key killers, isn't it? Is it Drumelson, Ekman Larson, and Chychrun?
I can't remember. I don't watch much Arizona hockey. Just
what?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
shocking,
man, you're
right?
missing out.
I know. I'm sure I'm missing out on some great quality play.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Nick Cousins, then
Nick Cousins, you got a soft spot for him. So
do you?
Yeah, he made me some money earlier this year, but
nice. Oh yeah, you were riding that line for a while.
Yeah, a little bit. Garland and co. Garland, Galchenyuk, and
hey, you were the first one on the Garland bandwagon. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the price is up on St. Louis 1. Not a good, ideal matchup. Only applied for 3 goals. St. Louis 2 is pretty reasonably priced for $12,000 line. I don't hate it but yeah, I'm staying away from this game. But I think most people are. So I don't know if there's like an ownership edge here somewhere.
I mean, if you wanted to take some stabs at St. Louis 1.
Yeah.
That'd be, I think, where you get the ownership edge. St. Louis 2 might be somewhat chalky, or not somewhat chalky. They might be somewhat like easy to fit in as a filler for some of these expensive home teams, like the Winnipeg ones and the Chicago ones and stuff like that. So they're fine for me. I think they actually have decent numbers. They're just low event, man. This
is probably going to be a pretty low event game.
I would think so. So yeah, could St. Louis 1 bust it out? Like, they certainly could. They're awesome, great numbers. Nashville 1 like numbers. They're probably going to face Stepan, and then I know that the Coyotes have had a little bit of a rough stretch on the penalty kill, but they've just been so good all season, no matter who's been injured. So I just don't really love anything here. And I don't want to target against the Blues either. Just they've been like one of the best teams in the NHL lately and just not allowing anything good.
Yep.
All right.
I got not much here.
The Coyotes destroyed the Blues 3 games in a row. I mean, I thought this would be a high-owned stack. Wait, which one, Steven? St. Louis 1? I don't know. Maybe if they would have done something of note in the last game, then maybe they would have been high-owned here, or maybe more people would look at them. But the way I'm reading it, I don't see them being high-owned.
Who?
St. Louis 1? Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't. They won't be. There's just too many other places to go.
I think so.
Probably like 5 to 7%.
Yeah. Oh, I think maybe even less than that in large field stuff if you're playing that. You ready to move on? You got anything in this game?
No, I'm good.
I should mention Ekman Larson cheaper than Chychrun. I don't know that I understand that. Ekman Larson's playing a lot. He's actually attempting more shots. B value and also those grades. I think he's a pretty good value at 4K. So
yeah,
pretty obvious, but just wanted to mention him in passing.
Yep, he's great. I love him.
Toronto and Vegas, we've got a 3.1 implied total for the Maple Leafs, 3.5 for the Golden Knights, Frederik Andersen, and then not sure who's going for Vegas. They did not announce who the starter was going to be this morning. If it's not Fleury, that could change some things. Have you heard anything on Vegas here?
No. Are they, just let me see what their schedule is like. Are they playing back-to-backs?
I don't know. Maybe they play tomorrow? No, they didn't play last night, right? It was only 2 games today.
Yeah, so they play, it's Thursday today? Yeah, so they don't play till Saturday, so I'd imagine it's Marc-Andre Fleury. He starts more than any other goalie in the league, so I have no reason to think it wouldn't be, but
who knows? It was just weird that they didn't announce a starter, or there's not even one that's likely. So yeah, they don't play tomorrow. I don't understand. Could be giving the guy a day off. I mean, he's started 90% of their games, so anyways, what do you like here?
I don't think you'd use him. Like, Toronto, it's a big game though, Toronto, so I would expect him to go, but we'll see.
I mean, it should be probably a good one to watch, whether it's high event or whether it's kind of grinded out. So I
Fleury,
don't know.
according to like Paul Hendrick on the Maple Leafs, Fleury's starting. So
Oh, okay. Cool.
yeah. So yeah, the crazy stuff, the crazy stats here are like I tweeted this in our Slack. Like it's nuts how, or shared it in our Slack. I'm showing my age there. It's nuts how good Vegas 1 and 2 have been. Both getting AA grades from Osmo. Vegas 2 over the last 10, 35 scoring chances for, 18 high danger chances for. Vegas 1, 28 scoring chances for, 22 high danger chances for. Far and away the best in the slate. Shockingly good numbers. They're not burying. Vegas 2 is all three of those players are top 20 in the NHL in high danger chances, 4 of that span, and they're not burying their chances, so that's why their price hasn't gone up. So they're both great values today. They're like a little too expensive to fit in with some of the top lines, so that's why it's kind of tough to get them to get there. But I don't know which one I like better. I guess I probably like Vegas 2, but man, it's I like those. I like going here, and I don't think that they're going to be overly heavily owned.
Yeah, this is one, as Steve likes to say, high range of outcomes. I think two good teams, 2 very good top 6s, 2 pretty good top 9s really here. Just two. I just don't know how this one's gonna go, and it makes it even tougher now that you've got Vegas and they don't really hard match, so they just kind of roll everyone. You can't really get a good idea who's gonna see more of who. So when that's the case, like I just like to play what I think are the good lines, and there's just so many of them here. Like you've got Matthews with Kapanen, they've been really good together. Marlowe, not so much. Tavares and Marner, I obviously love them. I think that's a pretty good price for them. I just hate targeting teams going into Vegas. And then this Kadri line, I don't know, maybe they're going to be a popular filler. I just don't really know what to do with this one. I think I lean towards Vegas' side. And I do like what you said about Vegas too, especially. They're all on the power play as well. So that's probably where I'm going on FanDuel.
50-50 power play splits, generally.
Yeah, they pretty much spread it out. So, and I know their power play hasn't even been very good this year, if I remember correctly. I'll take my chances fully fading Vegas. I mean, I'm fading them on DK when I'm handling.
It's fair. But it's fading them has worked out more often than not this year. Like I've been on them, but it's not worked out very well. Yeah.
I haven't remembered them just wrecking slates. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not remembering. But it's a good price for their top 6. It's so hard to decipher between the two, especially, like I said, when you can't really get an idea of who's going to face more of who. So, again, not on them on DK. So if they bury me there, I'll still have a chance on FanDuel. I'm going to have both of the top 2 for Vegas. And then on D, I do like Colin Miller quite a bit. Just a guy who attempts a lot of shots, Leafs bad against the just D-men in general. And he's down to 3,800. He's still playing around 20 minutes. And he goes well with Vegas too on the power play.
Colin Miller?
Yes.
Yeah, he's great value. That's the guy I was thinking, like one of the other guys in this range. That great value. Toronto gives up a ton of points to defensemen, so I like him a lot for Vegas. Yeah.
All right. Anything else here? Any other takes you want to throw out there?
No, I think I'm gonna fade Toronto tonight. I don't know. I think this could be a sneaky shootout though, so it's a little bit worrying. But maybe like a Marc-Andre Fleury stack might not be a bad option as contrarian play, just because he's probably going to see a lot of rubber. And you never know, with Marc-Andre Fleury, he could stop 34, 35 shots. He's a pretty good goalie. So I'm going to split my ownership between Vegas 1 and Vegas 2, a little heavier on Vegas 2, and just hope that this is the game that it happens. And if it isn't, well, then they will cost me money for the 20th straight slate in a row.
Yeah, actually, before we get out of this game, I actually do. You like Fleury. That's understandable, especially if you're stacking one of these Vegas lines because they're affordable. So if you're correlating, makes sense. But I like Anderson as a one-off on DraftKings. Yeah. Like people are talking about trappy price. I mean, okay, but he's just a better goalie than 7,400.
Yeah, decent price, and like Vegas shooting a ton, Toronto giving up a ton, right? So those are the recipes for good one-off goalie play for sure.
Yep, there you go. All right, we got a couple more games. Vancouver and LA, 2.5 implied total for the Canucks, 3 for the Kings. Markstrom, against Quick, I believe. Neither of these guys confirmed just yet.
I don't think we know Markstrom because it might even be Marek Mazanek.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's back-to-backs, right?
That's right. Yeah, back-to-back. Didn't really pay much attention to the slate last night.
I was all over that rookie goalie. It just didn't pan out.
Boyle? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had enough of him to sneak out a profit, but did not want to watch either of those two. So.
Yeah, fair.
You like anything here?
I'm intrigued by the LA one. So like Tyler Toffoli's up on LA one in place of Dustin Brown. It looks like one of the beat writers tweeted that out. Kovalchuk was all over the ice last game. He was skating with I don't know if someone got injured or I forgot to look that up, but he was skating with 2 lines and he had a 12% share with both of them. So LA 3 is a little bit interesting. I like LA 1 as well. I don't know. Vancouver's probably going to play a pretty defensive brand of hockey again. They've been shutting it down. Beagle plays a lot, and that's usually pretty low event hockey. Horvat as well. So I don't know. I don't really like the Canucks side of this game, but I might have a little bit of Kings paired with Quick as well. And Doughty's reasonably priced, I believe. He has been for a while. So
yeah, I've got basically nothing on the Vancouver side, and then for the Kings side, Kempe I'm looking at as a one-off, one of those punt sub 3K guys that I think you should consider if you're getting into some weird lineup constructions. And then I think maybe the new toy thing with LA1, Toffoli and Kopitar just haven't really worked out the last couple of years.
They were good for 2015-16 when Lucic was on their wing and they had a pretty good run. But yeah, I mean, who knows if that's indicative of anything, right?
Back when he was serviceable.
Yeah. I think Kempe's a great call, actually. He's getting minutes, he's scoring.
He's generating a lot, too.
Generating chances.
And going to see softer matchups, too.
Pretty cheap, right?
Yeah.
What is it? Kovalchuk's 43, that's nothing. Mm-hmm. And then who's the third one on that line?
Hagelin. He doesn't do anything, but he's fast.
Take it all back.
Yeah. So that's why I don't like the full line.
Doughty's a nice price. He's getting 27 minutes, power play one time. He's been kind of generating a little bit lately, so I like him too.
All right. Did you say Doughty right there?
Yeah, Doughty, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I agree with that. I think I had him in the cheat sheets, just coming up as a good value. Going to play a lot of minutes, and he's another one that's attempting quite a few more shots over these last few games, which you like.
Alec Martinez, I also don't hate.
Yeah, I mean his price has been weird, so a value
it's
there.
Weird, right? It's dipped down, now it's back up a little bit, but 3,500, you could probably do better. I'd probably still rather have Colin Miller, but he's not going to be owned very much, and he's getting increased opportunity with Muzzin gone now.
All right, ready to move on to the
Let's
last
do it.
game.
The big one, biggest game of the night.
Capitals and the Sharks, 3 implied total for the Caps, 3.5 for the Sharks. Braden Holtby and Martin Jones, 2 phenomenal goalies. I don't know that we have any line changes, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No, everything's the same.
All right, so then the question is, which side of this one are you on? Last one was a 7-6 shootout.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this game. This game was the slate breaker. It was amazing. It was so much fun to watch. So, yeah, I like San Jose 1 here a lot. I know you're on San Jose 2 a little bit, but their numbers, I know that their numbers are decent, but they're regressing a little bit from their crazy start. They were at 17 or something high danger chances and 35 scoring chances. Now they're down to more reasonable 28 and 10. Whereas San Jose 1 has been producing, I think, getting a little bit better and is on the uptick. They're 30.5 scoring chances for and 15 high danger chances for over their last 10. Still super reasonably priced, all on the power play correlation with Burns. So Washington's defensive struggles are well known. Just give me as much San Jose 1 as I can get here.
Yeah, Burns, pretty good play. I get it, he's expensive. If he's not for you, then some people are in chat are saying not for him. There's other guys if you want it. He's my guy tonight. Hurdle, Kane, Donskoy, that's my favorite line, I think, from a value perspective. I think I have San Jose 1 projected a little bit higher in total, but you're paying an extra 2K. So I agree. I love San Jose 2, that you can fit a little bit better with them, but I'm also going to have San Jose 1. So just love the Sharks tonight. I don't think there's any way around it. People like other spots. This is my favorite spot in the entire night, is the Sharks. Anything on the cap side?
No, I mean I can see game stacking this though for sure. It's just really hard to fit them in, you know. Like you pretty much have to go with like a Washington 2 stack or like a Washington 1, and then go all the way down to San Jose 3. And then we saw some success with LeBanc. I mean LeBanc got the hat trick the other day, so he's on the power play 1 still. If you're gonna get creative, we've seen the 4-2 or the 4-3 stacks work. So both Winnipeg and San Jose, I'm gonna do like a little bit of creative stacking with LeBanc on the power play. Just to kind of gain gain a little bit of contrariness in the lineups, and I like that as well with Winnipeg and Roslovic. So those are my that's how I'm kind of attacking this game. But yeah, I think I'm just not going to have as much of the Washington side.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have much of the Washington side either. I don't even. If I went to them, it'd probably be Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, Wilson.
Yeah. Is it narrative? I don't know what it is, but like I also don't like targeting teams on their very first game on a West Coast trip. Like I feel like the time change it's got to play some havoc. Like you're basically starting the game at 10:30 Eastern, right? So
yeah,
I always think that's got to play like got to screw with you a little bit. But
I'm sure just as a human being, but I don't have any data to back that up.
Yeah, we should look into that.
Yeah, not bad to look into. I like Vlasic with no Carlson, so he's not returning tonight. He skated yesterday.
Yeah.
Did some skating this morning, but is not playing. So no Carlson. Vlasic.
Vlasic got power play time as well last game.
Yep, he's listed on the power play too. So there's quite a few punt options there for the Sharks if you're not a Burns guy tonight.
Yeah. I love Vlasic at that price. Him and Stetcher, two best sub 3K price.
I like Vlasic better than Stetcher for what it's worth, but
I know you're anti-Stetcher, but he played 29 minutes last game.
I know, but
and Chris Tanev might be out tonight, so like he could push 30 minutes on a power play 1 for $2,900.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Vlasic's gonna play 20 plus, and he does a little bit more of the blocking shots, and it's gonna be a higher event game, I think so.
Absolutely. Like Stetcher doesn't have that high upside. I get it. Like he's probably not going to score a goal, but he's still got a pretty decent chance at getting you between 3 and 5 DK points. I don't know what that correlates to on FanDuel, but at that price point, there's not much you're going to find that's better.
Captain Jenks, I haven't played DFS hockey last year, or I've played DFS hockey last year, but haven't touched it this year. Well, welcome. Hopefully you are in the right place. So watch this video back if you want to see more.
Sorted for the NBA All-Star break here.
Imagine not being a Burns guy every night. Yeah, can you imagine? There are some people that are not Burns guys. Many in our chat. So, I mean, there are other options if you don't want to go to Burns, but that's where I'll be hanging my hat on tonight. So, anything else on this slate? You want to kind of sum up a few spots that you really like?
Yeah, no, I think you can maybe get a little bit creative tonight. This feels like the slate I've been just for the most part like stacking full line stacks most of the time this season. But there really just isn't a lot to like about a lot of these mid-tier stacks tonight. So if you want to pay down at defenseman, you can probably fit into pretty nicely priced stacks. But finding like a sub 12K line is pretty hard. So.
Yep, that's the issue when you go up this high, and when you try to get a guy like Burns. So if you can make it work, more power to you. But I just want to mention kind of a couple spots that I really like that I wrote up in the Stacks article. Nashville 1, Detroit 1. I like the Sharks quite a bit. Just like chalk, I think Blackhawks, Winnipeg 1. I recognize those are good spots. I lean more Winnipeg 1 when it comes to those two. But yeah, that's really all I got on this one.
Nice. Let's win that 6.5. You enter that. You're in that $400 one.
Yeah, I've got 3 in there, so we'll see.
Take it down.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. And then you can take down the 40, and everyone in chat can bink everything else.
So, I like it.
We're still having this giveaway going on for another couple hours. So the way you get entered in for a chance for a free all-access membership, a $700 value, is if you like this video, I see a bunch of you have already done that. Thank you. Likes help us just in general. And then comment. And you're going to comment, what do we say? Oh, highest, let's do highest scoring defenseman. If you think it's going to be Burns, if you think it's going to be Yossi, Vlasic, whoever you want, comment your highest scoring defender of the night. And that's how you get entered in. Go to Osmo_com Twitter for more information. You guys in chat. Anything else here?
Nothing.
All right. Cool. Well, you guys can continue to talk and chat. I'm going to get out of here.
Sorry, one more thing. You got your show with Eric tomorrow? Or EMAC?
With
Are you
EMAC?
going to talk a little?
Yeah.
Talk about a little strategy for anybody who plays NBA and wants to get into hockey?
It's a good catch. So tomorrow we're starting the show at 4:30 my time. That's 5:30 Eastern. And we're just going to go through some stuff for just basic NHL stuff. Kind of more geared toward the NBA guys that maybe don't know as much. Because NBA and NHL are just differently, like it's completely different the way you construct lineups for tournaments and stuff like that. So we'll just go over some like basic stacking strategies, maybe talk about Fantasy Cruncher Rewind. We'll of course tell you what we have behind the paywall. And then also if you're a premium NBA member and you're somehow watching the show, you get access to I think everything on the site for the next week until NBA comes back. So pretty cool deal that we've got going on. And if you've played MLB before, or you know someone that's played MLB that might want to get into NHL, tomorrow would be a pretty good show because there are some similarities between NHL and MLB DFS. So cool. Thanks for joining us, guys, and good luck tonight. Don't spend it all tonight. You're going to need some money for these next couple days. Yeah, it'll be EMAC and me, boom. So hope you're ready for that. Me and EMAC have done a couple shows together. He's just the best. So come for EMAC, maybe learn a few things about NHL, or get a refresher course. And we'll also talk strategy on the 4-gamer tomorrow. So a little bit of something for everyone, I think. Yeah, guys, good luck, and hopefully we're a few thousand richer by tomorrow.
I like it.